What's up everybody, I'm Jesse, or Game Over Jesse as you all may know me, and this is the Zelda Mailbag, where I answer questions sent in by you from Twitter, YouTube, email, and Zelda Mino. So if you would like to have a shout out and to have your question featured on our next episode, subscribe, like, and then put your question in the comments below. Our first question comes from the Hyrulean Soldier on YouTube, who asks, "Here's my question. Do you think the Mirror Shield will return in Breath of the Wild?" I seriously hope it does. It's one of my favorite shields out of every Zelda game before the Hylian shield became the standard for the series. The Mirror Shield in Ocarina of Time was my favorite. Fighting Twin Rova, it was really awesome. You could absorb the energy and then shoot it back at her. There's never really been anything like that again. Even Majora's Mask made really great use out of it once you got into the fourth dungeon, Stone Tower Temple. So to see it return in Breath of the Wild and see what kind of challenging puzzles they could use with it, like in the Spirit Temple with the sundials and everything. So I would love for it to return in Breath of the Wild, and with so many different types of weapons, shields, stuff, you can even use like a pot lid for a shield. So why not? I mean, I'm sure fans would love it if it was just like a bonus item or a secret thing you could get. And then the enemies that shoot magic at you, maybe it has the same effect where it absorbs it and then shoots it back out. So, yeah. The next question comes from Harris, who asks, "Do you think there is any possibility that masks will return in this game, like even if it's one mask?" Well, yes, I think masks in some form will return. We've already seen the Sheikah warrior looking guy that Link fights in the newest trailer. He has what looks like a new version or a new revision of the Mask of Truth from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. So we know masks will return. Whether or not Link gets to wear them is debatable. And we also know from an interview back when Majora's Mask 3D released that the Happy Mask Salesman may also return in a future game. Whether that's Breath of the Wild or a future game down the line, there is the possibility for him to return. And if he returns, obviously there's going to be masks in the story in some way, whether it's side quests or directly linked to the main story. Our next question is actually a group of questions from one person that I'm going to answer in sort of a fire round as quickly as I can. The One True Human Vasto Lord Steve, sorry if I mispronounced your incredibly long username there. They asks, "I agree completely about the areas being a mesh of memorable locations and landmarks from the old games. Thank you. Do you think Link will have stats and Nintendo just hasn't revealed that yet?" Well, actually, as of right now, Nintendo did reveal that Link won't necessarily have stats. Instead, you'll upgrade the weapons and shields items that you have, and that's how you'll get stronger and everything. You won't necessarily level up like you do in typical RPGs like Final Fantasy. Do you think there will be a small variety of magic attacks and defenses, not the runes? I don't imagine there will be. I think if you do get a magic bar, it'll be for certain items like using the spin attack or whatever, and I think that magic will come from the Sheikah Slate. But we do know there's the fire rod, some other weapons that aren't necessarily attached to the Sheikah Slate. So there's always the potential that you'll see traditional magic items from the past. Personally, I would love to see something like Din's Fire. If the Sheikah Slate could do that, or if it would be a magic item altogether, I don't really know. Lastly, do you think the Fierce Deity mask will be obtainable via side quest? No, I do not. I think there might be the Happy Mask Salesman, which we'll get to later, but I don't think there'll really be any reference to the Fierce Deity mask. But I would love to be wrong. I love the Fierce Deity. There's a lot of hidden lore and mystery behind that, but none that I can really see coming up in this game. All three of those are for you, and whoever your guest may be, I nominate Hannah Hyrule for reasons. I look forward to your thoughts. Alright, thank you. You got all of my questions there. Hannah Hyrule, more than welcome to come on a mailbag. She's been on a video with me before once or twice, so she's more than welcome. Our first question comes from Quinn_4318, who asks, "How long have you had a YouTube channel, and where do you see your channel headed in the near future? Podcasts, programs, etc." Well, I've had my YouTube channel for about 5 years, but for the first year or two, it was only for music that I was recording. But After I was working for Zelda Dungeon and then later on Zelda Universe, I got so passionate about writing for Zelda, I thought, well, why not just put my thoughts and my opinions and theories and everything into my own videos? That way everybody that was a fan of my writing on Zelda Dungeon or Zelda Universe would be able to come directly to me and communicate straight with me on YouTube. The first podcast that I actually had was the Nerdvana podcast, which I had my friends Simon and Amanda, who hosts the news videos for Zelda Universe, and they kind of helped me out through it. I didn't really understand what I was doing at the time, but we had on a lot of great guests, a few directors, Michael Cthulhu, the lead singer of the band City of Ashes, and just a few other great guests. We even interviewed Amanda because of her work in some of her stuff that she's done. And from there, it kind of snowballed to where I am now, being a founding member of the Chamber of Sages with people like HMK, Dr. Wily, Zeltic, Zelda Master, Commonwealth Realm, McIntyre Productions, Zelda Conqueror, RMFH, Vortexy Gaming, and Gate of Time. I think that's everybody. And through collaborating with them, having them on discussion videos, podcasts, theory videos, and everything, and being on their channels, I was able to get to where I am now with the subscribers and fan base that I am. So we all kind of created the group and everything, and I just want to see more collaborations with other people like that, bringing new people on that just started their YouTube channel to collaborate with, because that's how I basically got started. People that I reached out to or reached out to me to be on their videos, and I kind of want to just bring it back full circle and show the same kind of respect that I was shown when I first started. I would like to have a dedicated podcast in the future, something like Nintendo Voice Chat or Game Scoop from both IGN podcasts. Kind of Funny has a really great podcast. They were one of my big inspirations. Greg Miller, who I had on one of my one-on-one podcasts for an interview. We talked a lot about Zelda, even though he's more of a PlayStation guy. So the whole thing was just really great, and in the future, I just hope to have more stuff like that. Our next question comes from Unbaked Toast 242, who asks, I haven't been a Zelda fan for as long as a lot of people. I've only played Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. So what do you think the next game I should play be? So I actually already went ahead and answered this for him, and I said, you should try out one of the 2D games. A Link to the Past or A Link Between Worlds are great. Then if you like Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess is basically Ocarina of Time, but with better graphics and a larger world. Similar story progression and a lot of familiar areas. Then I would suggest Wind Waker or Skyward Sword if you like motion controls. Also, Twilight Princess has a dark story similar to Majora's Mask. Our next question is actually two put into one. It comes from Avery Lee Acton, who asks, correct me if I'm wrong, but did Fi ever appear in front of anyone other than Link? If she didn't, wouldn't that explain why there are no legends of the Spirit of the Sword? Then we have Jared, who says Fi's essence was put inside the Master Sword, right? So she may not be conscious anymore. I doubt we'd see her or that anyone knows she is part of it anymore. That information could be lost. There's really two answers to this. There's the real world answer, which is I like to call the developer answer, and then there's the in-game answer. The developer or real answer is just that Fi wasn't created or probably even thought of until Skyward Sword, which takes place at the very beginning of the timeline. So the fact that nobody had thought about her or planned for her means that none of the games can feature her since she wasn't thought of yet. But that's not a satisfying answer. Everybody likes the in-game answer to add to the story, and that could just simply be that after Skyward Sword, Fi kind of completed her purpose, kind of like Navi in Ocarina of Time. After she helps Link, she completed her purpose, so she left. In the same way, Fi could have just rested inside the Master Sword, but it would be nice if Breath of the Wild there was kind of a mention of the Master Sword having a spirit or something. Since it is kind of decayed, it would be interesting if whenever you restore the sword to its true form or get all the rust and damage out of it and get it powered up, however that may happen, if there was some sort of reference to Fi in the Master Sword. Also, really quick, to give more of a direct answer to your question, Fi did appear in front of other people, specifically Zelda's father whenever Link first pulls out the Goddess Sword. Heli Centellas asks, do you think we could get a Minish Cap 2? So I actually believe that's kind of a possibility, especially since Nintendo went back and remade one of the older 2D games, which was supposed to be a remake, but it turned into more of a sequel or a reimagining, A Link Between Worlds. If they did that same thing with Minish Cap, which I could see, it would be great. But you have to keep in mind that that game was made between Capcom and Nintendo. It wasn't necessarily just a Nintendo game. And I'm not sure who owns what rights, because we've never seen Vaati in any game that's specifically made by Nintendo. So in the same way that Nintendo partnered with a different team to make Hyrule Warriors, I kind of see them going back and partnering with Capcom again, since Capcom seems to be one of the companies that Nintendo still has a strong friendship with. Alright, our first question is actually a very interesting one. It's from Jason MG99, who says, I don't think Hyrule has to remain in ruins. Do you think perhaps there will be a butterfly effect time travel mechanic where you can restore Hyrule by traveling into the past 100 years and take on missions preventing destruction of parts of Hyrule, therefore affecting the present when you travel back to the present? That's a very long sentence there. No, I don't think that's how time travel will work in this game. Time travel has been a huge part of a lot of Zelda games. The ones that come to mind first is obviously Ocarina of Time's most famous for it. It causes all three of the timeline splits, which is why the timeline is so confusing for a lot of people. Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages, obviously it's in their title as well. Majora's Mask lets you travel back and forth through time for the 3-day cycle. Skyward Sword has you travel back in time 100 years after you beat the Imprisoned in the present, then you travel back, you defeat Demise in the past, and then you travel back to the present. So it's a whole convoluted time travel paradox mess. Usually it's pretty simple to understand. Fusing Emo asks, hello, what do you think the story will be about? In Wind Waker you had to rescue your sister. I don't need any fact, just your thoughts. Thank you. Well, my thoughts come with a little bit of fact, because we know in the game Link wakes up after 100 years, and Nintendo has hinted very much that this is a past Link that we've been familiar with, whether it's the Hero of Time, Link from Wind Waker, Link from Twilight Princess, Link from Skyward Sword. We don't have all of the facts just yet, as this game could potentially take place in any of the timelines. We have the Koroks putting it in Wind Waker. We have Hyrule Castletown looking like it was taken directly from Twilight Princess. We have a lot of hints that this is going to be in the Downfall timeline from the location of the Master Sword with the same flowers that's there in the A Link to the Past artwork. So potentially this game could be in any of the timelines, so instead of picking out a specific one, which you can go see my theories on that if you want to hear it, but I think this will be Link waking up after 100 years. The old man sets you on this adventure with Zelda kind of guiding you along. We know there's multiple endings, so I don't really know much about that. The whole game is, we know how it starts, we don't really know the story. Obviously you'll be saving Zelda, you'll be saving Hyrule, but other than that we don't really know that much. And in Breath of the Wild, the way that you're describing the time travel is you go back in time and save the village, and then you come back to the future and the village is restored. Then you never would have had the need to go back in time to restore it to begin with. So it causes this whole paradox and a probable timeline split once again. And I don't think Nintendo wants to do that. I don't think they want to make the story that confusing. I think that they put so much time and effort in this game. They want it to be so great, so amazing. They don't want, whenever you beat the game or whenever you do something like this, for the player to just put the controller down and be like, okay, I beat the boss, but what just happened? This doesn't make any sense to me. They don't want to have someone who has an entire encyclopedia on the timeline to sit there and explain everything to you like you're a 2-year-old. They just want it to be fun and enjoyable, and making the story confusing like this would take away from the fun and the excitement of it, since while you're trying to figure out a puzzle in the game, you're also trying to figure out the puzzle in your head on what just happened. So yeah, I think the time travel will be exclusively for whenever someone is telling you a story about what happened before, and as Link starts to remembering it, as the person's telling the story, you'll get the cutscene playing, or when you pray at the goddess statues, Similar to how Zelda prayed at the goddess statues in Skyward Sword to recover her memories of being Hylia reincarnated, then again the cutscenes will play as the memories from the past. Oh, that was a lot, but thank you for your question. But really quick, for everybody that likes this question, put your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think the story would be? I would love to read it and discuss it with you. Our next question comes from Dougie, who asks, do you agree with Zeltic that there will be seasons in Breath of the Wild? And to be honest here, I have to respectfully disagree with Zeltic. While I love his videos and his theories and his analysis videos are top notch, I just don't think there will be seasons in this game. I was going back and forth, hoping there would be. It would be awesome to see how everything changes season to season. But at the same time, here recently I've been thinking that there won't be. Because we already have snowy areas. A lot of people like to point at the different colored trees that, oh, this is autumn, and then maybe later on it'll turn to winter. And I just don't think that's really the case. We've seen it in Majora's Mask after you beat the second dungeon. The winter area, all the snow melts, spring comes, and it completely changes everything, opens up side quests, and a lot of other things for you to do. So I can see how it would be awesome in Breath of the Wild. I just don't expect it, because these different colored trees that look like the seasons changing and everything, I think those are just areas like, if we have the beach over here, and then there's like a forested area, and then we know that there's also areas that are high on top of mountains that are already cold that you need to put on heavier clothes to withstand, and say that's over here. So somewhere in the middle of this forested area, as it moves away from the beach and gets closer to the snowy area, just like in the real world, it doesn't necessarily have to be autumn or a season or a specific season for the leaves to start changing. And as it gets closer to the winter area where there's snow on the ground, you have to have the heavy clothes to keep warm, the trees right here are just going to be the multicolored trees that we see in the game that was shown off in that trailer. I don't think it's confirming seasons or anything like that. I just think it's the natural progression, just like you see in the real world. Our next question comes from Evicu, and sorry if I mispronounced that. They ask, could you use the Wolf Link on the Switch? And the answer to that is simply yes. Breath of the Wild is being promoted alongside like 5 different of its own amiibo, which are the Bokoblin, Zelda, Link on the horse, Link shooting the arrow, and the Guardian. And there may even be more revealed the closer we get to Breath of the Wild. Plus it works with Wolf Link, it works with the 30th anniversary Zelda figures, and it basically works with every Zelda figure that's been made, which is like 10 or more by now, probably. So don't fear about going out and buying Twilight Princess with the Wolf Link amiibo and worrying about it not working on Breath of the Wild, because it'll work the same, if not a little bit better, because the better resolution, higher frame rates, longer draw distance, and the color itself is different as well.
Hey guys, Cosmic Soul. Hey guys, Cosmic. Literally impossible. Introducing yourself is impossible. How do people do it? How do people introduce themselves? A lot of people are like, yo, I'm Game Over Jesse. You're about to be incredibly seduced by every video I ever make in the entire world. Not me. I sound like a fucking... That was insensitive. Don't put that in. I sound horrible. I can't even introduce myself. I can't be like, hey guys, Cosmic Soul here, and you're gonna be watching some dank ass videos. No, that's not how this shit works. Keep your head in the game, bro. Head in the game. Okay. Morning, Jesse. Doing this for you. That sounded really creepy. Alright, first question comes from Mooseman, and he asks, do you think the hookshot will be either in the game... Not what it says. No, not what it says. Got you. First question comes from Mooseman, and he said, do you think the hookshot will be in the game as either an item that can be upgradable a bit, like the swords, or as a rune on the Sheikah Slate? Honestly, I feel like they're going to play the hookshot like they did in every other game, and you're going to start out with the basic hookshot, and you're going to upgrade the long shot, and... that's probably... Seriously? Give me harder questions. God, that's so weird. Next question comes from Dragon Cheat. Fucking dope. From Dragon Cheat 263. And he says, how robust or in-depth do you think the weapon armor upgrade system will be? In addition, do you think the weapons... I read that wrong. Kinda don't want to change it. Just want that to be the end. God, I'm weird. Jesse, stop asking me to do things. Just kidding, you didn't ask me, I volunteered. How you been, Jesse? You good? Chilling? You're gonna love editing this. Next question comes from Dragon Chi 263, and he says, I literally... Oh, I thought that was the previous question. I was about to say I literally just answered that. This question comes from Dragon Chi 263, and he says, how robust or in-depth do you think the weapon armor upgrade system will be? In addition, do you think there will be weapons, items, or tools outside of the Shiaka tablet or Master Sword that are non-destructible after moderate use, like the hookshot? You guys were all up on that hookshot today. Yes, I think that that yes doesn't answer any one of your questions. I think the armor upgrade system is going to be a lot like Skyward Sword. They're going to just very basic, easy use. Everyone's going to know how to do it. I don't think they're going to go crazy RPG upgrade ability thing with it. I don't think there's going to be enchants or anything like that. I think it's just going to be very basic and straightforward. Destructible items, though, I feel like every item you would get is probably going to be destructible unless you upgrade it fully. Like the hookshot, I feel like it's not gonna be broken to the point where you can't have it in your inventory. But I think we're gonna have to have like repair kits and shit just to use them until you get the final edition of whatever item you're using. But yeah, I think it's gonna be. I don't think Nintendo's gonna go Dark Souls on us. I think it's gonna be very easy and basic to use. And next question comes from Green Banana, and he says, how many fish can Link name? We're gonna play this out, see what she says.
Daddy.
I love you. Mwah. Look at the camera. Say bye, Jesse.
Bye.
Say Jesse. Bye, Jesse. Say bye, Jesse. Say it straight like you. Say bye, Jesse. Can you act like you enjoy my presence, please? Say bye, Jesse. Say peace out, home slice. Say no way, Jose. Say anything. You just be. I don't know why this is still recording. This is literally just father-daughter bonding time. It's kind of awkward for me as it is for you. So I'm going to end the video now. But, thanks for watching.
What's up everybody, really quick before we get to the usual end slate, I wanted to mention a quick update for this channel. I'm trying to bring together a few new series other than the usual discussions and news videos that we do. I would like to bring quality reviews, let's plays, do more live streams, a top 10 series, and more analysis videos. However, to do this I need your help. Between being a new father, YouTube, and my real job, I don't have the time to work on all of these videos. So I would like to bring on other people who can help out from time to time, like Sasizi and others who have helped host and edit videos before. To make this all happen and to get awesome rewards for yourself, head over to patreon.com/gameoverjesse where you can get shoutouts and videos, join our group Discord and chat with us whenever you want, be a guest on some of our videos, and much more. I want to thank you all for watching this video. If you liked it, give this video a like and share it with your friends. If you haven't already, please subscribe so you don't miss out on future gaming news, theories, rumors, and discussions. Also, let me know your thoughts in the comments below on how it could be improved. Your feedback is the most important part of bringing the quality of content on this channel to be the best that it can be. I would like to take this time to give a huge thank you to this month's Patreon supporters: Jonathan, The Edge Network, Magic Tech Review, John Frank, and Harris Priest. This video was made possible by supporters on Patreon. If you would also like to support this channel, head over to patreon.com/gameoverjesse where you can support this channel as well. Rewards vary from having your topic featured on a future discussion, seeing videos early, joining as a guest on a video, shoutouts, and having a custom avatar similar to my own drawn of you to match any video game or anime art style that you would like. Mine is of myself as Link, but you could choose to have yours any way that you would like. Finally, I would like to thank my friends CS Guitar 89 and Gnomo Designs for providing the music and artwork for this video.